All right, y'all, welcome to the show. And the thing I have to say today is the following. I am sick and tired of living through history. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. Forget it. Like, let's not do this anymore. So, every story today is horrific. So we're going to start in just a second with Trump snapping and carpet bombing Yemen. We'll get into the specifics of that. We have Twitch's #1 streamer, their top streamer, basically has a boner over Trump's psychotic warmongering. We also have specific cases, specific stories of people that the Trump administration is torturing and deporting illegally. We have fascism is literally here. It's no longer theoretical. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798 was invoked by Trump, and then when a court stepped in and said, hey, dog, you actually can't do this, he was like, go ahead and try to stop me. So a lot to say about that. We have town halls are continuing to explode. Veterans are yelling at MAGA officials, telling them, you guys don't give a fuck about us. We have a new poll on Democrats, which shows that support for them is literally at a record low because they refuse to fight Trump. We have Elon Musk officially terminating Social Security for people who he claims are dead, but they're not actually dead. And we have Trump openly saying that CNN and MSNBC are illegal. So the fascism speedrun is here, and I wish I had better news for you, but I don't. So everybody do me a big favor. Please subscribe to the channel. That helps out massively and costs you absolutely nothing. And of course, much love to all of you who support this show on Patreon. It couldn't be done without you. And these are dark days, bro. These are dark days. There's no doubt about it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's start with this one. So Trump, the other day, comes out, chest-thumping moment, and he says the following. Today, I have ordered the United States military to launch decisive and powerful military action against the Houthi terrorists in Yemen. They have waged an unrelenting campaign of piracy, violence, and terrorism against American and other ships, aircraft, and drones. Joe Biden's response was pathetically weak, so the unrestrained Houthis just kept going. It has been over a year since a U.S.-flagged commercial ship safely sailed through the Suez Canal, the Red Sea, or the Gulf of Aden. The last American warship to go through the Red Sea 4 months ago was attacked by the Houthis over a dozen times. Funded by Iran, the Houthi thugs have fired missiles at U.S. aircraft and targeted our troops and allies. These relentless assaults have cost the U.S. and world economy many billions of dollars, while at the same time putting innocent lives at risk. The Houthi attack on American vessels will not be tolerated. We will use overwhelming lethal force until we have achieved our objective. And then he goes on, here's another part that's noteworthy in all caps. To all Houthi terrorists, your time is up, and your attacks must stop, starting today. If they don't, hell will rain down upon you like nothing you have ever seen before. Then he also warmongers with Iran in particular as well. So, here he is saying, I'm going to bomb Yemen. And then he went and bombed Yemen. Now, the reports we have on the ground coming out of Yemen is that a minimum of 31 people have been killed. I've seen another number of 58. I've seen another number that has over 100 killed. According to some reports, he literally hit a medical center, a cancer center. They say that their women and children were also killed in this bombing attack, right? But look, bragging about bombing Yemen, again, let me remind you, this is a guy who half the time on the campaign trail called Kamala a warmonger, called Liz Cheney a warmonger, said all she wants to do is shoot people. That's all she wants to do is shoot people. What was Trump's position when it came to Yemen, literally in this campaign? Well, here, figure out.
I look at your policies, I see secure the borders, bring jobs back. I look at the Democrats and many Republicans, and it's foreign war and foreign expansion. That's right. What is that?
I think it's just a failed mentality. It's crazy. You can solve problems over a telephone. Instead, they start dropping bombs. I see recently they're dropping bombs all over Yemen. You don't have to do that.
Do I need to play that again for you? Could he be any more clear in this clip? Look at Joe Biden. He's dropping bombs all over Yemen. You don't have to do that. Why you do it? America first. America first. And then here he is. Now he's in the White House, chest thumping, saying, now I'm going to bomb Yemen. I want to bomb Yemen. I'm going to bomb Yemen all day long. How about if I bomb Yemen? So again, let me pose this to the people in MAGA. Which Trump do you support? Actually, you know what? Don't answer that because I know the answer to that. The ones who are truly in the cult would say, oh, I supported him when he said he wasn't going to bomb Yemen, and I support him when he says he is going to bomb Yemen. So in other words, you've just farmed out your brain to this malignant narcissist. That's what you've done. You've stopped thinking. You've stopped actually having a position on something. Whatever he says, I'm with. Even if it's totally contradictory, even if he changes his mind from 1 second to the next, never mind 1 year to the next. So, and the other thing is, guys, you need to understand what exactly is going on with Yemen, right? Here's what's going on with Yemen. They were witnessing, like the rest of the world was, an Israeli genocide in Gaza, where the IDF was massacring innocent civilians, including women and children, on a daily basis, starving all of Gaza, not allowing in food, fuel, medicine, doing a total blockade. You know, the death toll, according to some sources, is over 200,000 people, 90% of which are civilians. The low number is like 50,000, which is still just absolutely unconscionable. But to be clear, that low number is not accurate. It's definitely way higher than that. And so Yemen saw this, that their Muslim brothers and sisters in Gaza were getting starved. So they said, oh my God, nobody's doing anything. Let's try to blockade Israel to stop weapons and supplies from getting into the country in our attempt to help the innocent people of Gaza. That's why they did it. Nobody disputes that that's the reason why they did it. Usually what people do in the conversation is they bring up something totally unrelated about the domestic policies of the Houthis and how anti-gay they are and how backwards they are when it comes to social issues, which all of that is fair game in a broader conversation about the Houthis. But in the context of what's happening in this instance, the reason they're doing what they're doing, the reason they're seizing Israeli ships, the reason why they've gone after some U.S. ships is very simple. Hey, you got to stop doing a genocide in Gaza. Now, by the way, how do we know that that's factually true? Because when there was a temporary ceasefire, guess what? The Houthis stopped seizing ships. They stopped attacking ships. They saw there was a ceasefire, and they said, okay, this is our standard. If you want us to stop the genocide in Gaza, period. That's it. That's it. And they did it. But then, of course, the genocide in Gaza was back in full effect. And so they went back to what they were doing, right? So basically what Donald Trump is doing here is he's bombing Yemen for Israel. He's bombing the Houthis for Israel. Because again, if you want them to stop doing what they're doing to the ships, the answer is simple. Stop arming and funding Israel and tell them you have to stop doing a genocide in Gaza. That's it. That's all it would take, and they would stop doing what they're doing, right? But no, Trump would rather act as the further military arm, the proxy military arm of Israel. So that puts into spotlight this comment from Trump. Now, this is an older video, but it shows you his mindset when it comes to Israel and the Israel lobby. Watch this.
You know, the biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. It was so powerful. And today it's almost the opposite. You have between AOC and Omar and these people that hate Israel. They hate it with a passion. They're controlling Congress, and Israel is not a force in Congress anymore. It's just amazing. I've never seen such a change. And we're not talking about over a very long period of time, but I think you know exactly what I'm saying. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress, and now it doesn't. It's incredible.
Israel had such power, quote, and rightfully over Congress. That's what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, do you realize that he took hundreds of millions of dollars from pro-Israel donors? Sheldon Adelson back when he was alive, and now Miriam Adelson today. Hundreds of millions of dollars went to both Trump, his affiliated PACs, and Republican groups. Hundreds of millions of dollars. And guess what? That explains why his policies are what they are vis-a-vis Israel. This isn't a tough one to figure out. It's actually very straightforward. Why did Trump say, hey, the Golan Heights, which is Syrian territory, I'm now declaring that Israel can legally annex it, and now it's part of Israel? Why did he do that? Because he took hundreds of millions of dollars from pro-Israel donors. That's why he did that. Why did he move the embassy to Jerusalem? Because he took hundreds of millions of dollars from pro-Israel donors. That's why he did that. Again, this isn't hard to figure out. This isn't difficult. And then now, the quid pro quo is what? Israel's going to annex the West Bank. They're going to annex Gaza. As Trump says, we're going to own Gaza. We're going to take Gaza. We're going to own Gaza. We're going to build some nice casinos, some hotels on the beach. It's going to be beautiful. They have beautiful weather over there. Beautiful. Now, Palestinians will not be able to return. But that's okay. It's going to be a nice place. It's going to be beautiful. This is all part and parcel of the money that he's getting from the Israel lobby. And now he also did this for Israel. If your main concern was, Houthis, you have to stop what you're doing, it's simple. Israel's got to stop the genocide, period. That's it. It's over. That's it. Have some sort of peace agreement. Wrap it up. Stop massacring innocent people. Stop starving people to death, and you're good. But see, he doesn't actually care about that. He said Israel should rightfully own Congress. He took hundreds of millions of dollars from pro-Israel donors, and he's their bitch. He's doing their bidding. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, guys. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, well, let's see. Because some people would say, well, he did this strong, tough guy, peace through strength action, right? So, hey, maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll get the Houthis to back down. Now, I already told you, we know how to get the Houthis to back down. All you have to do is stop the genocide, and that's it. Guess what? Abdul Malik al-Houthi, leader of Yemen's Houthi movement, has declared that both U.S. commercial and military ships will now be targeted and included in its naval blockade in response to ongoing U.S. attacks and support for Israel's Gaza blockade. In a speech today, he warned that the blockade on U.S. flagships will continue as long as U.S. attacks on Yemen persist. Al-Houthi reiterated that the only way to end the group's blockade in the Red Sea is for the U.S. to respect the Gaza ceasefire agreement and end its aggression on Gaza. In other words, his response was, oh, we're going to redouble our efforts. Go after your military ships and your commercial ships now. Suck my nuts. So it backfired 100%. And I haven't even mentioned, attacking Yemen is completely and utterly unconstitutional anyway. It's completely, the way it works in this country is Congress has to do a declaration of war in order for there to be a war, right? There's never been a declaration of war against the Houthis. Usually what happens is they try to find loopholes. And what they do is they say, oh, we're now declaring that the Houthis are a terrorist organization, and we did have a declaration of war against Al-Qaeda, a terrorist organization. Therefore, we're going to lump them together and say that the same war on terror justification, which was passed in the early 2000s, can be used for this, right? So yet again, another example number 5,312 of Donald Trump, even though he shit on George W. Bush and Dick Cheney 5,000 times on the campaign trail, doing exactly a Dick Cheney and George W. Bush move, a neocon move. Yeah, I'm going to do more war with zero statutory authority, zero approval from Congress, but it's okay because I lumped the Houthis in with Al-Qaeda, even though they're fucking mortal enemies. The Houthis are Shia, Al-Qaeda is fundamentalist Sunni. God damn it, man. We've lost the plot. But I got more for you. The warmongering continues. So I love how this didn't even make news. I swear this is like the only article I saw on this that came across my feed. The only fucking article. Israel strikes Syrian capital in warning to new leader. Strike targeting Palestinian group is first since interim president Ahmed al-Shara established control. Israel strikes Syrian capital in warning to new leader. How is this not bigger news? Israel damn near announced a few weeks ago, oh, we're just going to steal all of South Syria up to Damascus. Or we're just going to steal it. They already stole the Golan Heights. They saw that when Bashar al-Assad fell, oh, this is an opening for us. So they just took more territory, brazenly against international law, no question about it. And now they're striking the Syrian capital. Nobody even talks about it. If this was a U.S. enemy doing such things, oh my God, you'd never hear the end of it. We'd be talking about regime change. We'd be calling them a rogue nation. But since it's our ally, everybody shut up, everybody shut up. And of course, what's Donald Trump doing at the same time? Send them more money, send them more weapons, allow them to use those 2,000-pound bombs, which are used to absolutely massacre civilians. God damn it, man. We also have this. Trump asks military for plans to take Panama Canal by force. Look, I said it before, I'll say it again. If you are in the military and you are asked, hey, you're going to Canada to try to make them the 51st state. You're going to Greenland to try to steal that territory and get the minerals for the U.S. You're going to go to Venezuela to try to coup that government. You're going to go to Panama. You're going to go to Mexico to fight a war against the drug cartels. If the Trump administration tries to deploy U.S. troops to any of these places, you should resign in protest. You should be a conscientious objector. The idea that Trump is asking for military plans to take Panama by force. I told you guys, he's rolling the clock back to 1800 style imperialism. He's serious. He means all of it. Even when it comes to Canada, people are, well, he's largely joking or whatever. But then he just said it a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, and a fifth time, and a sixth time, and a seventh time. And it became very clear. No, he means it. He means it. And everybody's just acting like this is normal. Like, it's just Trump being Trump. This is psychotic warmongering. This is imperialism. This is colonialism. It has never been more clear. You're living through history, and they're literally drafting up the plans to take Panama right now. I'm telling you, man, bodies in the streets. That's the only way. That's the only way to stop this. I also have this for you. Ready? Little throwback to the Nazi era here for you. The U.S. and Israeli regimes want to ethnically cleanse Palestinians from Gaza and expel them to Africa. They're trying to force Sudan and Somalia to take them. I believe also Somaliland. In other words, the U.S. empire was borrowing the Nazi regime's Madagascar plan for Palestine. So the Madagascar plan, that was when the Nazis said, bro, we got to get rid of these Jews, bro. How do we get rid of these Jews? I don't know, but give them like Madagascar or something, ship them all over there, ethnically cleanse Germany of the Jews and send them over there. And now you have Israel and the U.S. applying diplomatic pressure to Sudan, Somalia, Somaliland, and say, hey, we're going to send you guys the Palestinians. You guys will deal with it, right? Maybe we'll give you a little subsidy. We'll send you some weapons. We'll give you some perks. But when we ethnically cleanse Palestine, we can force them on you and it'll be good, right? We'll be chilling. I said it at the top of the show, bro. I am sick and tired of living through history. Like, one of these stories would have been enough to sink a previous president. One of these stories. But what they're doing is the Steve Bannon plan. They throw 100 insane things at you per day and expect you to get lost in the noise and not be able to respond effectively to any of them. Well, we can't be like that. We got to respond effectively to every single one of them. Again, now's the time to rise up. Now's the time to get body in the streets. Now's the time to protest. Now's the time when solidarity is the most important. Still not done. Here we go. Ready? This goes to show you how colossally full of shit this guy is, how much of a liar he is, how unhinged he is. Here he's going to claim, bro, when I said I would end war on day one, end the Ukraine war on day one, I was just like being sarcastic, bro. You decide for yourself, because we got the clip spliced in there. Here we go.
You said you would have this war settled in 24 hours.
Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic when I said that. I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours. Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic when I said that.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled.
Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic when I said that.
I'll end that war between those two countries in 24 hours. It won't even take that long.
Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic when I said that.
I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done.
Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic when I said that.
It can be negotiated, I think, within 24 hours. Guarantee that this war will end immediately.
Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic when I said that.
I will have it solved in 24 hours with Zelensky and with Putin. And there's a very easy negotiation to take place, but I don't want to tell you what it is because then I can't use that negotiation. It'll never work.
Do I even need to say anything else, man? Do I even need to say everything else? Anything else? Look, when it comes to this guy, literally on every single front, he's been objectively worse than the worst case scenario. Objectively worse than the worst case scenario. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. This stuff is unconscionable. And anybody of conscience and morality, now's the time to fight back. Now's the time to get in the streets. Now's the time to say, in no way, shape, or form will we work with you in any way. Because this is so far beyond the pale that it's mind-boggling. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.